How many of you saw what Donald Trump posted? A lot of people are excited about it, while there are people that are very angry about it. Sir, what is your opinion?
It's my pleasure to say I'm very much happy about it.
Can you tell us why?
This insecurity issue has been ravaging the country for over a decade. For decades, not over a decade, for decades. And then one thing we have noticed is a pattern. The more we try to solve insecurity, the more it has increased. And then the reason for the increase is two basic reasons. Some people say there are reasons why this insecurity is thriving, but the two basic reasons why it's thriving is: one, security votes get increased the moment insecurity increases, and also defense budget increases when insecurity increases. And then you know what security votes is: the money voted to state governors to solve security issues within their state. And the interesting part of this fund is this: the funds are not accounted for. You don't get to audit them. It's spent in cash. So it's cool business, right? Because insecurity currently is a multi-billion-dollar industry in Nigeria.
But does this mean that we have to allow a foreign military to come solve our own domestic problem?
The Nigerian military has proven time and again to be incapable, because if they are capable, 200 people were massacred in Benue just recently, and that is coming after the Owo massacre in Ondo State. So what are we saying? If they are capable, I think they should have put it to rest by now. So bringing in foreigners to do the job, if the locals can't, I think it's a welcome development.
A lot of people are saying that Donald Trump doesn't care about Nigerians, that he's only concerned about the resources in Nigeria. What do you have to say about that?
Do Nigerians care about Nigerians? Do our leaders care about Nigerians? That's the first question we should be asking. We shouldn't. Let's remove the log in our eyes before we focus on others. Donald Trump is the US president, so he has reasons whatsoever not to like Nigerians. But on this particular issue, I think I stand with Donald Trump. And the reason is simple. What we have gone through in the hands of our leaders is worse than what the foreigners are doing to our people. You understand? So you can't tell me Donald Trump hates Nigerians when our leaders treat us worse than even the foreigners.
Some people say America has a track record of trying to solve domestic issues and then even leaving the countries in worse situation than they were before they even intervened. Looking at the case of Afghanistan, and other countries. Now, what do you have to say about this? Are you not worried that there will be insecurity? There will be security instability when this happens?
But without the US in Nigeria, there's still insecurity, right? So what difference does it make bringing in the US? So what our advice is, let's give a try. Let's bring in the US, because without the US in Nigeria currently, we are still having series of attacks on a daily. So why don't we bring in the US and see if we are going to have a different result? And a lot of people argue that, yes, we have brought in foreigners in the past and then the issue got worsened. Can we give this a try? Donald Trump came up, and there was one thing he did that made me like him. The moment he came in, one of the first things he did was to set up the DOG, Department of Government Efficiency. And one of the revelations of that department was that US aid was used to fund terrorism, including Nigeria. Nobody said anything about that. What I expected was the Nigerian authorities to write to the US through their envoys, okay, look, if you are saying these funds were used to fund terrorism, how did it come in? We should carry out an audit and know how these funds were used to fund terrorism. But up until this moment, nothing was done. Everybody is mute. So our leaders are complicit, and then we can't continue applauding them. We need to bring in foreigners if they can't do the job. And then Donald Trump didn't just say, I'm coming in to do this job. He gave options. He said the Nigerian government should fix the mess, otherwise he's going to come in to fix the mess. So it's an option. So there's no need. I don't even expect the President Tinubu to be thinking of traveling to Washington. No, there's no point. He should sit back with his security chiefs and then fix the mess. That's the only way he can stop the US from coming in.
I watched the video today. This is very confusing. The president's aides, I watched the video just this morning where he granted an interview and he claimed that there was nothing like massacre, that there was nothing like churches being burned.
Sorry, which of the aides? Is it Bayo Nanuga or is it Boala? Those men are just doing their job. They are paid to lie and defend the government, so they are doing their jobs. If you said there was no massacre, what do you call the 200 people that were killed in Yellowater? What took the Fulanis from the far north to Benue State, which happens to be my state? What took them from the far north to the middle belt to do such an atrocity? You wiped out an entire village. People are reporting 100, 150. But my friends who are on ground say the massacre was over 200. A woman woke up, her entire family was gone. 4 children, husband, and all gone in one day. And you don't call that a massacre, then what do you call it? So definitely people will come up with political undertones to try to downplay what is happening, which is normal. They are politicians. Because one thing we need to understand is this. The US coming in to fix insecurity in Nigeria is an indictment on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. And that shows he has failed on his primary responsibility, which is to provide security for Nigerians. That is the first oath of office he took to defend lives and property. That comes before any other thing. He has failed. So the US coming in to fix the mess for him is an indictment. An election is around the corner. Would you want to blow your chances of being re-elected?
This is really crazy. Looking a lot of people, especially young people in Nigeria, do not really understand what all this means. You see, when you see a casket, you see it as an ordinary wood until the person is lying inside of it. That's when you know what it truly means for people to lose their lives. People are losing their lives every day in Nigeria. This is no joke. So when you see somebody really excited about an intervention like this, it's not because they have a desire for war or something like that, but because we are tired of this insecurity. We want government to do something about it. And Donald Trump tweeting doesn't mean that he's going to take immediate action. He's only asking the president of Nigeria to fix this issue. If he doesn't fix it, then they might want to come intervene. So that's all they are saying. Do you understand me? So our leaders need to be accountable. These are domestic fights. We have to fix it ourselves. So this is not an issue where people begin to fight themselves on social media, because some of you don't really understand how bad the security issues are. You don't have any idea. As someone who listens to a lot of people coming to tell me their story, you have no idea what this means. So anyways, I'm very much interested to still speak to somebody who feels that Donald Trump shouldn't have a business with Nigeria's domestic security instability. So if you are someone who wants to talk about it, please reach out to me. Do you have something else you'd like to say?
Sure. There's one thing Nigerians are getting wrong. A lot of people are saying Donald Trump coming to Nigeria will be invading our sovereignty as a nation. One thing we fail to understand is this. Under the UN Charter, every citizen around the world has a right to live. And then the moment any government in any country of the world fails to guarantee the security of lives and property, the UN has a right to direct any country to come in and intervene. So it's not infringing on our sovereignty. And he's not just going to come in and raid. He's not coming to raid. There are hideouts. Before, it used to be Sambisa Forest. We've heard of Goza and the likes. He's not just coming in to raid the streets of Abuja. He's going to the hideouts of these bandits and criminal elements to fish them out. That's the plan. So I don't know why people are agitated. And one thing we need to understand is this. We must come to terms with the fact that this is a business and it has to stop. Between 2023 and 2025, defense budget rose by close to 40%. Likewise, security votes. Now, stopping insecurity is going to do this. It's going to mean no more security votes, reduce defense budget, and which is going to put the northern governors out of business. Likewise, the defense officials.
So are you trying to say that people make so much money from insecurity?
Of course. Insecurity is a multi-billion from the people that sell the guns. In fact, let me shock Nigerians. US stands to benefit more if this insecurity goes on. And the reason is this. Before Trump came into office, the US suspended arms sale to Nigeria, right? And then the moment Trump came in, he sanctioned that arms should be sold to Nigeria to fix insecurity. This is the third year of Asiwaju in office, or 2 years plus, right? Has insecurity been fixed? No. He sanctioned that arms to be sold, and then this insecurity issue is worsening. So what do you expect? He has given you all the support. I saw somebody like Kwankwaso stating that they should give us technical support. What happened under Jonathan? Jonathan brought in mercenaries to finish Boko Haram. According to the report of a House of Assembly member in the north, he stated that they were 70% gone. Because what they were doing was they had a workstation where these guys were observing the terrorists wherever they were operating from, the kind of weapons they were using, their numbers, and then they will send in professionals to take them out. And before they send them for any assignment, they have a video recording of what was going on there. They were the first people that made us understand that these people live in swampy environments where you cannot cross, but they have mechano generators running in those areas. How are you able to get mechano generator into Sambisa forest? So this whole insecurity thing is a business for people selling arms, business for politicians because they get money from security votes, business from people who plunder mineral resources, because Adam Soshomole came out on the floor of the National Assembly the last time to make a bold statement, and up until this moment nothing has been done. He said former military generals are looting Nigeria resources in billions of dollars using a chopper out of this country. What has been done? So do you expect such people to give us that multi-billionaire conglomerate just because of Nigerians? They don't care about you and I. So I wonder why Nigerians are worried that foreigners are coming in to take our resources when the resources are not even benefiting us. In the North today, the North records the highest number of illiteracy, highest number of poverty, highest number of insecurity, but they have more mineral resources than most regions in this country. Have you ever seen Nigeria account for 1 naira from gold or any other resources aside oil? But billions are being made on a daily, and people are saying they are so if he's going to take a foreigner to take these resources, I would rather have a foreigner come in and even take these resources than watch our elites and their children loot these resources and use these same resources to oppress you and I. Tomorrow, if you go to an event, a son of a senator will look down on you. Why? His father has made money from illegal gold deals. And you are here suffering. How much are they giving you as minimum wage? So how has these resources benefited us? So for something that has not benefited us, I think the Nigerian masses should team up behind the US government to end this. If it's going to cost us our natural resources to end insecurity, we should do that. People are not looking at the impact of this insecurity. Two things make economies thrive: power and security. Nobody is willing to invest in a country that is not secure, because at the end of the day, you might end up losing your investment. So we are not seeing the bigger picture of this insecurity. Everybody is just being sentimental, probably because the people killed in Yelewata or in Owo, we are not your brothers, we are not your sisters, so we are all very complicit. I know Nigerians will have this sentimental way of looking at things. Once it doesn't happen or affect you directly, we are always quick to make it look cool on the surface. People are now threatening. And does Nigeria even have a sovereignty? Do we? And these resources you keep complaining about, we have these enormous resources. How come we are borrowing money on the daily? These are questions we should ask, rather than sit and then drum support for the government that the US should not come in. Please, if Donald Trump is listening to me, he has the go-ahead of the Nigerian masses. He should move in and clean up this mess. We trust him to get this done. Yeah.
So what do you guys think in the comment section?